this is the end of the road for the bus service.
Well, I blink it will open. I hope someone up there is going to get their finger out and think of us, you know?
For now, though, there is a good hour or so before that last journey home. Time to put the kettle on. So you've got time for a quick cup of tea?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm coming down here anyway.
And a gossip?
Yeah, a gossip.
I'll let you carry on with that.
Well, we were just talking amongst ourselves here at BBC Radio Kent about our passion for the buses and where we will be once you get to a certain age if there wasn't that bus service there. BBC Radio Kent's Joe Byrne, of course, with that report. And thank you to Ruthie in Dover. Speaking about buses, cars, motorbikes, we've talked about it all this afternoon. Ruthie in Dover says, I've had some bangers in my life. First car, an orange beach buggy with lots of springs called Zebedee from the Magic Roundabout. I love that. First ever new car after the beach buggy was bright red VW Polo, and that had to be called Marco for Marco Polo. I love it. See, naming your cars. That's what we were chatting about just a moment ago on BBC Radio Kent. What have you called a car? Why was it your favourite? Well, maybe you're a fan of the buses that we heard Joe Byrne celebrating just there. It is BBC Radio Kent. We're counting down now to that rewind hour, celebrating all those great old songs. But let's get some new music on for you now. Before then, how about some Miley Cyrus and Flowers? And then You've Twisted My Arm, a real classic. If you love the Electric Light Orchestra, and I know many of you do, I'm one of them, I'm going to play you Don't Bring Me Down from the soundtrack to Donnie Darko. Remember that film? Brilliant film with a great song in it. Both of those coming next, just for you, just for you. I'm talking to you on BBC Radio Kent.
We were good. do you pronounce that? Comment down below. Rainka. Okay. Rainke. International.
community and now the world. I don't know how that will make her feel, and that worries me. I think we'll have a look.
I think in the grand scheme of her being missing, and and hopefully being found safe and well, I mean, it's it feels less and less likely, but you never know. Then it probably feels like small fry, doesn't it? And in the grand scheme of God, she's safe, her children have their mother back, but it isn't small fry, because privacy is really important. Yeah.
And in the short term, it may be small fry, but in the long term, I really believe they should be held accountable for the way they have handled this investigation. Because even before this release of the information, I thought the investigation was flawed. It just didn't sit right with me. It didn't seem normal.
And we have, sadly, too much evidence about police getting things wrong in cases, perhaps especially cases involving young women. I mean, the Met Police just a few days ago apologised to Caroline Flack's family for poor record keeping about something very controversial, which was them appealing against prosecutors' advice not to charge her with assault, not to prosecute Caroline Flack. And we know that the pressure of that scrutiny that was on her, and the sorrow and shame she felt, and the stress she felt, and the implications for her personally and professionally were massive, and that was mishandled both in media terms and policing terms.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me started on the complete overhauling of our policing system that I think needs to happen.
The thing is, but there are also, we need to remember there's also excellent policing. I remember a conversation I had quite recently with Danny Shaw, who used to be a BBC Home Affairs correspondent and is now a crime, a consultant and journalist on crime. And he makes the point that some of the stuff coming out of the Met at the moment, and 2 to 3 Met officers to be charged a week in the courts pretty soon in relation to sexual assault against women and girls, or assault against women and girls, or harassment. the sense and the humility to understand that there will be elements of this case that we don't know for good reason, perhaps for good reason, I don't know. There will be elements clearly of this family's life that we don't know and shouldn't know, don't need to know. There'll be all kinds of elements to this that we don't know in detail, and that's as it should be while an investigation goes on, not least if there is some possibility of a criminal party, which clearly the police don't think there is. Now they are so certain, and it's that was unusual to me, the certainty that they had about that at the beginning.
Exactly.
But it made me think they must have something really strong for them to be that certain so publicly.
Yes, well, exactly. But the thing is, going back to the revelation that of Nicola's sort of difficulties, I don't want to spell them out because everyone's talking about them, and I don't think it's appropriate. But that's another communication faux pas in a way, because really we didn't need to know that. I know they're probably trying to express to people, we know what we're doing, and this is why we're following this particular thing more strongly. But at the same time, it still leaves you with that feeling. We just want the police to make, well, it's not for them to make us feel better, but we just want the best for them.
Yes, when you follow a story a lot, you become engaged, don't you, in a sense, in a very removed sense compared to the poor family dealing with this. Sue, thank you, Sue in Cheam, we must keep them and Nicola at the forefront of our minds when we talk about this. It's 1:31. Let's get some headlines from Amelia Hobbs.
Senior MPs have criticised Lancashire Police for disclosing private information about Nicola Bulley. Detectives revealed the mother of two, who has been missing for almost 3 weeks, had suffered with alcohol issues. The owner of British Gas has seen its profits more than triple in the last year. Centrica made £3.3 billion, prompting calls for it to provide more support to customers with their energy bills. A trial date has been set for two teenagers who have been charged with murdering Brianna Jai in Cheshire. The 16-year-old girl was stabbed to death on Saturday. LBC weather largely dry with a few brighter spells for England and Wales. Rain moving in from the west for Scotland and Northern Ireland, a high of 13 degrees.
This is LBC.
My favourite thing about London is its parks. Green spaces and fresh air are essential to all of us in this busy city. I know that the quality of the air we breathe can also have a major impact on our health, so it's so important that we clear London's air.
That's why the Mayor of London and TfL are expanding the ultra-low emission zone. From the 29th of August this year, ULEZ will expand across all London boroughs to help the 5 million people in outer London to breathe clearer air. More than 4 out of 5 vehicles already meet the ULEZ standards. To check your vehicle and see the support available, search ULEZ 2023.
Now that the holiday season is over, many timeshare owners are facing a winter of expensive upkeep. With rising inflation, now more than ever, we need to look after our money. If you own a timeshare in Spain or the Canaries and bought it after 5th of January 1999, you may have been missold. mytimeshareclaim.co.uk could help you exit your contract and receive substantial compensation. To find out more, text ASSIST to 78900. That's ASSIST to 78900 today.
Digital confidence comes with NordVPN. Block online trackers, hide your virtual location, and protect your devices from malicious files during downloads. It's easy. Just connect and forget. Catch the special deal now at nordvpn.com. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Quiz question for you. Of the 20 outer London boroughs, how many do you think meet the World Health Organization's safe limit for toxic air pollution? How many do you think? Go on, say a number out loud. None of them. That's why the ULEZ is expanding across all London boroughs. Search ULEZ 2023 to see if you're affected and if you are eligible for funding to help replace your vehicle. Let's clear the air.
Ooh, heard about Look Mum No Hands? Their cafe /bar /bicycle workshop. They got a domain and built a website with GoDaddy to showcase their services. Ain't that right, Matt from Look Mum No Hands?
You're telling me. So now more customers can find us online.
And now their business is riding high.
Nice.
Thanks. Take the next step on your business journey with GoDaddy.
How many subscriptions do you have? And how many do you really use? Households right now are spending an average of £422 a year. With the Lloyds Bank Subscriptions Manager on our app, you can block or cancel the ones you no longer need in a few simple taps. It's one of our many useful tools to help you stay on top of your money. To find out more, go to lloydsbank.com/cost of living. Lloyds Bank, by your side.
Sheila Fogarty on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
It's notable that people like Yvette Cooper have come out and criticised, or in Yvette Cooper's case, she was quizzical, wasn't she, about why Lancashire Police had made the move they'd made and revealed these private details about Nicola Bulley. And I noticed that the Conservative MP and Equalities Minister, the Women and Equalities Minister, Caroline Noakes, is very critical as well. Maria has called from Liverpool on this. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Sheila. Sheila, I'm aghast at what they've done to release those personal details. I'm also very, very saddened. Did they not stop to think of the repercussions on her children and her husband and the rest of her family of this going public and being open for discussion in the public domain? You know, it's no one's business. But to me, it goes deeper than this, because to me, I see it that they're, in a way, victim blaming. You know, it's her fault I'm not saying it's her fault she's gone missing, but look, hey, we've got these mitigating circumstances because she's a woman. And you made the point earlier, didn't you? If it was a man, they wouldn't be able to say, well, he's going through the menopause, or he had an incident last month with mental health. You know, why would they say that?
I think you might. I mean, you know, we've seen, for example, murder investigations, or when a person is missing, and there isn't this river element to a story. I've certainly seen over the years where, like I said, with a heavy heart, they release detail that they think will help. So, for example, if they think there's been a relationship involving domestic violence, and who would want that known? You know, you'd want to extricate yourself from such a relationship healthily, safely, and not really have, you know, you should choose who knows about that, you know, that kind of thing. So if for investigative reasons certain private things are revealed, always with the careful handling of the family involved, then I get that. But like I said, I've been racking my brain as to what this adds to the public element of the... I just don't think it does.
No, it doesn't, Sheila. And to me, it's indicative of the attitude of policing.
Do you think it's saying menopause, stress, struggle, wine, fell in the water?
No, I think it's saying woman. I think it just says woman. And
but woman what? Woman what?
Woman. It's sort of
coming to a hurried conclusion based on her being a woman. You mean?
What I'm trying to say, I think, is the release of the details has exacerbated the whole publicity surrounding her disappearance to a very detrimental extent.
Yeah, if that press conference was meant to dampen down speculation, they've completely produced the opposite effect, haven't they?
No. Yeah, they've done completely the opposite, because people are saying now, oh, well, what health services went out a month ago? I mean, was it social services to take the children? Was it mental health? Who was it? You know, it's bringing up all kinds of private and personal details and speculation that actually is nobody else's business.
I think in time, I suspect in time, either the family or a spokesperson for the family will say something on the degree to which they knew the police were going to do this or not, because it doesn't sound, from what the police said, like they sought permission to reveal those vulnerabilities.
Oh, well, that's terrible. Whoever did that should be held accountable, because that is absolutely awful. If they didn't get the family's permission to release that personal and private information, then that's awful. And I really hope the police take note of how, as a woman, this has affected other women. And
in what way? Tell me how.
Confidence in going to the police, right, Sheila. Their attitude towards women, towards policing women, towards releasing personal details of women. You know, how is this building confidence in policing for women?
Well, you know, we say, don't we, ambitiously, that we want police forces, police services to reflect the communities that they serve. And actually, the communities that they serve, all of them, consist of great things, and consist of sexism, and consist of misogyny, and consist of poor thinking, and, you know, so maybe that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing that misogynistic edge again.
Couldn't agree more.
Thank you, Maria, for your call. Let me read a couple of texts out and tweets that you've been sending as well. It feels a bit like the she was wearing a short skirt response, says Ben. The implication is that she has acted irrationally or abdicated responsibility by just being a woman. I wouldn't go that far. I think the inclusion of the menopause points in that direction, but not necessarily the drinking, because anybody can turn to alcohol for relief, can't they, from stress or strain. I too can't see how it helps anything. That's my main question, is at the degree to which it adds anything to the functionality, the potential success of the investigation. I simply can't see any evidence that it does that. And again, because I want to be as sensible as possible around this, and as sensitive as possible around this, it's perfectly possible that the police have information or even evidence that we don't know about that makes them so certain of a certain outcome or a certain direction of travel of the investigation. That in a sense is separate to what we're discussing, but I do think it's important that we remember that we don't know everything. The police said over and over again yesterday, says this tweet I should say, no, text, apologies, that they didn't want to go into the details, just that she was vulnerable. The police were then hounded to give more details. Why couldn't it just be left alone? Shame on us for wanting to know why. We should have just trusted the police and left them to it. Very sad reflection of how we are as a society, that we have to know every detail of people's life, says Lindsay. I get why you say that, Lindsay, but I also think, you can't have as big an engagement with the public and the press in an investigation and not expect to be questioned. You can't have an investigation that yields nothing and not expect to be questioned. So to that degree, it is that engagement with the press is a two-way thing. But also, the reality is they brought that to the party. They brought that element, that piece of information to bear. The press didn't. They did. I think it was a legitimate thing to ask the question. Thanks for your text all the same. Let's talk to Tom Dunn, LBC's reporter in Liverpool, where two teenagers have appeared in court charged with the murder of Brianna Ghey. Tell us more, Tom, about where we're up to on this, because I know there's been a number of vigils for her as well.
There has, Sheila. Yeah, we'll get on to the court appearances first. So these two teenagers were charged by Cheshire Police yesterday with the murder of 16-year-old Brianna Ghey in that park in Warrington on Saturday. The two 15-year-olds appeared at Liverpool Crown Court and the charges were read out to them today. The pair, a boy and a girl, both 15 years old, appeared via a video link at Liverpool Crown Court just to confirm their names and addresses, and the hearing only lasted about 20 minutes or so. It was to fix a provisional trial date for them, which has been set by the judge in this case for the 10th of July, with the trial likely to last around 3 weeks. The parents of the two were in court, the mother of the boy in this case and the mother and the father of the girl in this case were again in court yesterday. Both sets of parents were also present at the Magistrates' Court hearing yesterday in Chester, both visibly emotional, and it was about the same today as well. Both of them obviously incredibly shocked and their world turned upside down in the last 48 hours by these charges being brought against them. Now, as you mentioned, Sheila, vigils have been taking place over the last few days for Brianna, who was a transgender girl from Birchwood in Warrington. These vigils have been held across the UK and Ireland as the trans community and the LGBTQ+ community have come together to remember the teenager. Crowds have gathered at places including London, Belfast, Lancaster and Dublin. Last night in Manchester, hundreds of people